Okay, so fine guys, good evening everyone, and once again guys, welcome back to Rio Academy. So I'd warmly like to welcome all my colleagues guys, all my friends who are watching me on our app. Good evening Miss Neha, and also a very good evening to all my friends who are watching me on YouTube guys. Okay, so before starting up with today's class guys, let me inform you, my health is a little bit off, so my voice might sound a little bit different, but that's no excuse. I'll still conduct the class guys nonetheless. So as you all are quite well aware guys about Rio Academy, which has been into the services in order to provide for all those aspirants who are preparing for the PGCET examination, PGCET MCA, and also for the MBA guys. I myself will be conducting the classes for PGCET MCA students. Alright, so do subscribe to our channel guys, channel and subscribe madikodi. Do check out the previous videos too, which we have uploaded on the same topic of PGCET MCA and also for MBA students. And do like the videos guys if you are able to understand. If you have any suggestions, any comments, then please kindly let us know in the comment section. So many among you might be watching me for the first time on YouTube guys. Let me just inform you something regarding myself. Today, first let me tell you, yes guys, the topic that we are going to be considering today, the topic is Cartesian coordinates. Okay, so as you can see, we have made Cartesian different and coordinates different. Why is that? I'll definitely tell you the reason guys, but nonetheless, coming back to the thing here, I'm an engineer guys professionally. Many among you might already be knowing that I have been an engineer, I still am an engineer, and I'm an educator out of passion guys. Teaching field has quite an interesting aspect of it, and that is the reason I have been into the educational services for about more than 6 years now. I will be conducting guys mathematics subject for all the PGCET MCA students. Well, as for the MBA students guys, the quantitative part will be conducted by a separate educator, Giridhar sir. Of course you might be knowing him well too. Okay. Okay guys, so having been said that, let us directly come back to the part that we are going to be considering today. See, today guys, we'll be dealing with one of the most important part, and that is the coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry for PGCET students is an utmost important topic. You will be asked 2 mark questions and also 1 mark question in your PGCET examination, not on a very heavy basis. Let me initially make it clear, because a number of students initially think topics such as trigonometry and coordinate geometry are going to be very difficult. It is not at all true guys. We are going to be discussing initially what coordinate geometry is, the basics guys, just those things that you have already gone through in your previous studies. We'll be focusing initially on that, and then the coordinate part guys is been divided into 2 different topics for your PGCET. We'll be learning about that too simultaneously. Alright, so if you have any comments or any suggestions or any doubts guys with respect to any of the classes or sessions that we are conducting on the previous basis, please let us know in the comment section. Okay, alright guys. Okay, so basically guys, coming to the part of what geometry is. See, geometry is nothing new. Once again, we have been going through it. So it is especially given out a term guys, geo. Geo means basically earth guys. Geo means earth. So what is it that we are going to study about earth? We are going to study about the shape guys. We are going to study about the shape of the earth. Shape of the earth, it is a general term that geo has been given. So basically, Greek mathematicians who initially were focusing on coordinate geometry, they gave up this term in geo, referring to the shape of the earth, because initially everyone believed that earth was to be a circular format or earth was to be round, but nonetheless, so geometry specifically destines or designs for the study of all the shapes, So in case of earth, it is not just roundness, it is also the triangle, it is all the quadrilateral formats or all the polygon formats which have been included in earth. Earth has each and every element which has many different forms. So we are going to be basically studying about the shapes guys. This study of shapes is known to be geometry. So another term you might already be knowing, that metry. Metry refers to measurement. It is basically derived from this term, guys, metric. Metric refers to, once again, guys, measurement. So the study of measurements or study of shapes, that is basically known to be geometry. Now the question comes, what do we mean by coordinate geometry? See, before that, let me initially tell you, what do you mean by ordinate? What do you mean by ordinate? Suppose I'll take out a point here. Okay, let me take this to be a point A. Question comes, why is it, sir, in mathematics everyone considers a point to be the smallest form? ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎ ಇಲ್ಲಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಓಕೆ, ಸಿ, whenever we see it from far, guys, everything seems to be very small for us. So basically it takes up the shape of a point, but as we keep on coming towards, the size keeps on increasing, so distance is also considered here. So basically we deal out with point because everything seems to be a point. If you look at the stars, they seem to be a point. If you look at any of the other different element, not very far from here, if you look at a car from suppose about 100 meters away, it will seem only to be about of this much length based on your vision. As you keep on moving towards, then we realize that the car basically is of 7 meters or 6 meters depending on the model, SUV, XUV, so on and so on. So in case of mathematics, guys, everything starts with a point. So that I have taken a point A here, and if I ask you, where is this point? I want to know where this point is. I want to know the location. Why? Question comes, why do I want to know the location of this point? Because if there is something, we need to know what it exists for. Curiosity, guys, is a really important thing. Curiosity is an extremely important thing, but very dangerous too. You should be always very careful whenever you are curious. Curiosity is a great thing, as even Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has very specifically highlighted curiosity, but at the same time it is highly dangerous. You might not know what you are going to end up with. So on the basis of curiosity, we try to learn out, we try to study everything. Many of the students basically get this idea, why do we need to study about the points? Why do we need to study about the stars, so on and so on, while we are never going to get there? Correct? We have a galaxy, Milky Way galaxy. There are many different forms of stars, asteroids, so on and so on in the space format. We are never going to get there in our lifetime. Okay, if we expect that we are going to be about 1,000 years old, let us just assume that it is possible, and it seems impossible probably, but it is also a possibility. So if there is someone who is living for up to a period of 1,000 years, even with this format, guys, we are never going to reach of the neighboring galaxy. Then why are we going to study that? Because we don't know, guys, what we might find from it. Basically we are expecting profit by studying where, by studying why, by studying mathematics, by studying this space, and by studying many unknown things. We are expecting that something good is going to get out of that, and that is the reason we keep on looking at. Okay, so now if A is a point that I am considering, we need to know how far is it from. Now overall way, if you look at this blank sheet that I have taken here, you will get an idea. You will say that it might be something at a distance of 5 centimeters from the left hand side. Okay, it might be at a distance of something, say about 5 centimeters also from the top face here, or it might be something this distance from this right edge. If I consider, this might be at a distance of 20 centimeters. That is the reason you are able to get out and picture here of this particular point A. And if I just say that you are going to consider a point A, it's like dropping you out into an ocean, guys, where you don't know where land is. Suppose at one of the nightfall, you wake up in the morning and you realize you are at the middle of the ocean. You don't know where you are. You try to do what? You try to look around. You try to look around for what? You try to look around for a fixed point, right? Because from that fixed point, you are going to decide how far you are from. Basically what you are going to do, from that one particular fixed point, you are going to find out the distance. You are going to find out where you are and what you can furthermore do. So from this, basically what we understand, guys, if we want to study about something, we need to know its location. That is really very important. Now, like I just said here, suppose you rise up or you wake up at the middle of an ocean each and every morning, or just one of the particular morning, you do what? Suppose there is a land here on your right hand side and you are stuck out here in this middle position, and there is completely water around you. Okay, so you basically do what, guys? You calculate out particular distance here. You just try to take out one approximate value. Okay, and then you can say, suppose this is about 150 meters or 250 meters or something. You will get an idea that you are at a particular distance, and then you can decide whether I am going to swim or whether I am going to make up a ship or something else, right? But basically, guys, this distance, it is only on the right hand side, correct? The land is only on the right hand side, while as you are standing in the middle, you have all the 360 direction here, 360 degrees of direction. You can look out any of the direction that you want. Okay, you can calculate one particular distance from here, and you can also calculate that you are at a distance of 200 meters from some particular else point B, and you can also say that you are at one particular distance of, let me say, 400 meters from this point C, and then there is one more another particular point D, 500 meters. So if you look around yourself, out of this complete 360 degrees, you will always be getting particular measurement. But we can't keep on counting all the 360 degrees format, because it is going to make very complicated. Things are going to be very much complicated. So here what do we do, guys? In order to avoid this complication, basically we have designed magnetic compass. Correct? Magnetic compass. See, these are all the properties, guys. These the basics will not be asked in your examination, but as a PGCET students, guys, while you will be completing your master's degree, I think it is important you know that, at least get an overall look. Of course, you are going to study that furthermore also. I'm just trying to provide you an overall look. You already might be knowing this. We're just going to go out on a refreshing basis, because the questions that will be asked here, guys, in case of coordinate geometry, not only in coordinate geometry but also in trigonometry, guys, you have to understand the basics. Only after the understanding of the basics you will be able to solve out the questions. Okay, whenever you look out at a question, don't just directly go on for thinking of the formula, which formula I can apply, so on and so on. Okay, so here we have designed a magnetic compass. Magnetic compass has what, guys? Basically it has what? It has two directions, correct? Two directions in the sense two line. Basically it has four directions: north, east, west and south. On this basis we have obtained the term of news, north, east, west and south. But nonetheless, see guys, what I'm trying to say is, if you want to measure something, if you want to measure out one particular point A, we have basically taken out ordinate. Ordinate means measuring along a direction. What do you mean by ordinate, guys? You mean that you are measuring something along one particular direction, and here is point A and there is land here at this particular point B. You are trying to measure your distance from this particular point B. So this is what? This is only one ordinate here, correct? You are measuring the distance only within one direction. So what we have done in mathematics is, we have created the number of directions in which we can measure everything. We have made that as standard events, because only on the basis of standard we will be able to understand each other. I'm speaking English, you're able to understand, then we are communicating. Suppose if I talk in some Tamil language and if you are unable to understand, then we will not be able to communicate. So for the perspective of communication, we basically have gone up with the standards. So this is only one direction. What is this direction? This is horizontal direction, correct? If I measure something, if I measure this particular point A, how far is it from this point B and how far is it from this point C? I'm measuring the distance here only along what? Only along the horizontal line. Okay now? So now, but in practicality, guys, there are many different formats. So what we did here, initially there was a mathematician known to be René Descartes. I hope you have heard about him. René Descartes. Okay? René Descartes. Yes, become silent here. René Descartes. He was a French scientist, mathematician also. So he was the first person who developed up the coordinate geometry part. So I'll tell you what now coordinate geometry is. So this means ordinate, measuring only along one direction. But if you look at just this one page, if you just look at this one screen on which we are conducting the classes, there are basically two ordinates here. We are measuring the distance also along the horizontal direction, and we are also measuring the distance also in the vertical direction. Okay, we are measuring the distance also in vertical direction. How is that, sir? See here, if I take a point A here, you are getting an idea that this is at a distance something here 5 centimeters from the top. So what you are doing, you are measuring the direction along the vertical line, and here along the same path at the bottom, you might say this is at a distance of 18 centimeters from the bottom. Correct? You are measuring the distance along the vertical format. And here also you are getting an idea, whenever you just look at this format of the page or the screen, you are getting an idea that this point is at some distance from the left side and also at some distance from the right side. So whatever we see, guys, basically the measurements are of two different forms here. The measurement, one measurement is in the form of vertical direction, another measurement is in the form of horizontal direction. Because just think it out, guys, logically, if you take out a point and if you only have the horizontal direction and if you don't know the vertical direction at all, you will not be able to get exactly the position of this point. That is the reason. Okay, so now this is also a coordinate. Measuring along horizontal direction is known to be what? Ordinate. And one more thing, guys, not only along horizontal direction is known to be an ordinate. Measuring along vertical or horizontal, either one, you are measuring only in one particular direction. So initially we are measuring here in horizontal direction, and we are also measuring along the vertical direction. Correct? So it means what, guys? It means two ordinates here. Okay, so 2 here has been replaced by this particular term coordinate. So co means what, guys? Co means basically it is a prefix which specifies many different meanings, but in this sense here it means togetherness. Joteyalli anta heltaralri a basis, so togetherness. So horizontal direction and vertical direction, we are taking both this direction at one particular time in order to get out the location, in order to get out the distance. And that is why it is known to be coordinate system. Okay, coordinate system. And now many of the students usually they might have gotten confused, guys. Initially at the beginning I'm talking about, whenever in your life that you have heard about coordinate geometry, you might have gotten this idea, why we taken only x-axis and why we taken only y-axis. Correct? This is an horizontal ordinate, right? Instead of writing HORIZONTAL, we take this to be x. Why only x? Because René Descartes, he had taken it initially to be an x, a variable x. Okay, he had just kept on practicing it, we have kept on using it. And why only y here? You can take out anything that you want. You can take out a, you can take out b, you can take out anything that you want, but we have fixed x and y to be standards. If I write a here, then you might not be able to understand which direction this is that I have considered. For that reason, we have fixed x and y axis to be on a standard axis. Standard axis. These are what? In two dimensions. Dimensions means what, guys? Dimension means measurement. Measurement of anything. Suppose if I take in the weight, okay? If I take in, suppose my weight's 84 kg, 84, 85. So 84 becomes my dimension. What is this 84? This is my measurement, right? Measurement of what? Measurement of my weight. Okay, so any measurement, guys, basically that is known to be our dimension here. So now 2D, 3D, you have already heard that. So many of these students, they know that we have seen this is a two-dimensional figure and this is a three-dimensional figure, but many of the students still have that confusion, what a 2D is, what a 3D is. See, two-dimensional means, suppose if I take in a point here, okay, this is only a point. Now we are measuring how far this point is from the horizontal line, which is nothing but the x-axis. Correct? And we are also measuring how far this point is from the vertical axis here, that is nothing but y-axis. So measurements we are getting it on what, guys? In two direction. Correct? And the first direction is in x and second direction is in y. Here there is already x and y, so just we take it as x1 and y1 after this. Okay, so we are measuring, we are getting the dimensions of this one particular point in two direction, hence it is known to be a 2D. Okay, it is known to be a 2D. And now in the same sense guys, you might already be knowing this, these two horizontal and vertical axes are always perpendicular to each other, are always on the sense of 90 degrees to each other. Why only 90 degrees sir? Why not 10 degrees or why not 45 degrees? You can take it any way you want guys, but basically if you look in 90 degrees will be much more easier and it will cover out everything. Okay, it will cover out an area. How do you know that sir? Because on the basis of trial and error method guys, we are getting this ready made, but a number of mathematicians, number of people have worked really hard in order to get you. Okay, on the basis of trial and error method we have gotten you. So this basically guys is coordinate system, correct? Coordinate, double ordinates here, and this is a system of what? Measurement, and that is known to be coordinate system. So coordinate systems is also furthermore divided. We can also carry out the system on a two-dimensional basis. We can also carry it out in the form of three-dimensional basis. This also guys is also known to be Cartesian coordinates. Cartesian means it is a name that has been given by René Descartes. He was the first mathematician who dealt with the coordinate geometry, the geometry of measurements. Okay, Cartesian system, it is just a name that he has given it. Cartesian means, once again means 90 degrees of arrangement, 90 degrees of horizontal and a vertical line arrangement, that is known to be a Cartesian system. And coordinate system also is the same name. Okay, they are both one and the same. I hope this much is clear. This will not be asked in your examination, PGCET examination, but I basically thought you should know it. Now guys, René Descartes told us, and a number of many different mathematicians told us, that we can measure everything like this on the basis of Cartesian system, on the basis of coordinate system. Now just imagine that we don't know anything, we don't have anything in order to measure. Then what we need to do? We'll have to identify a method, we'll have to think for it, right? Now see, we are measuring this in two directions, right? One in horizontal and one in vertical direction. René Descartes, he didn't measure each and every element. That cannot exist guys. He did not spend his entire life measuring, like trial and error method means he didn't measure the stone that he saw in front of his house, he didn't measure the house, he didn't measure himself, he didn't measure the door. How? I mean, I'm basically saying on the trial and error method he did it, yes, but of course he did it on the basis of what guys? He did it on the basis of thinking. He kept on thinking. This started working in your mind. So basically what I'm saying, imagination guys is a highly powerful tool. On the basis of this you can create anything, you can also destroy anything. Okay, so always whenever you are learning guys, my personal suggestion, and it is okay even if you don't take it, you have to study everything on the basis of imagination. Imagine just what is going to happen, so on and so on. Okay, I hope that was useful. No sir, we don't want your suggestion of imagination. If that is the case, fine guys, you can neglect it. And one more important point, these will not be asked in your PGCET examination. Okay, now guys, I hope this is clear. If you have any doubts or any questions up till this point, please ask. Yes guys, Santosh Kumar, I hope you are able to understand. Oh sorry, Santosh Kumar. Okay, and I also hope Neha and Pavan Kedan, who are simultaneously watching me on our app guys. Yes guys, and those guys who are watching me on YouTube, do like the videos guys if you are able to understand. If not, then please let me know in the comment section. Okay now? So now guys, look here. So two-dimensional. Now the question comes, why can't we measure everything only in two-dimension format? Why do we need a three-dimensional format, or why do we even need furthermore dimensions? See here, like I told you guys, there are two ordinates here. You can measure along the horizontal form, you can measure along the vertical form. This is what? This is on the basis of front to front. I mean, it is only on the basis of front view or back view, correct? Front and back form. If you look at this, if you look at everything only on two different views in only one particular direction, you will be having a two-dimension. But in practicality guys, but the reality truth is, we don't exist only in front view and back view. Okay, we have many different views. Like I told you, we have 360 degrees of different many formats. Okay, so now suppose you are watching me on a screen. Now I also have a particular girth guys. correct? I also have a volume, right? You are looking me like you can get an idea of how tall I am, or how broad I am, or how width I am. Okay, but there is some volume also, right? I'm pushing back also something. It means you are moving into this paper. You're moving particularly into this paper. Just imagine a cube, guys. Cube, or imagine anything. You can also imagine anything. I'm just saying a cube is a particularly direct example. If I draw it here, you'll be able to understand. See, this is a 3D figure, correct? Just on a rough basis, this is a 3D figure, right? So now this also has, guys, here on the basis of 2D, this will be the 1D, and this will be what? The second D, correct? Horizontal and vertical. 2D is over here. Of course, you know that if we take it out from the right hand side of the origin, that is positive for x-axis. On left hand side of origin, it is negative. Above, it is positive for y, and below it is negative for y. And we take it as origin, guys, because like I said, we need to have one starting particular point. Okay, without that we won't be able to calculate anything. There should always be one fixed point with reference to what we can calculate. If everything is moving particularly, we will not be able to calculate exactly. Okay, that is the major reason, guys, while dealing with the calculations of space or astronomical calculations, many of the failures happen because everything is moving or stationary. We don't know for sure. We assume many things and we go up with the calculations. Okay, so now guys, so coming back to this particular example of cube, we are measuring the suppose we are measuring the length here in one direction, the first dimension. We are measuring the height here or tallness in the second direction, 1D and 2D. But if you look practically at the cube, guys, it also has what? It also has girth, it also has thickness, right? In one particular direction, it is moving within the paper. The first is moving within and the coming out. Okay, we can take that also. So here this particular, there is another measurement. So that is what? That is the third dimension, that is the third measurement, and hence it is known to be a 3D object. Okay, or 3-dimensional. And let me specify it here, guys. We have assumed everything. We have assumed that we can study everything on the basis of 3 dimension. We have assumed that whatever it is, we are going to study it only on the basis of 3 dimension. It is everything on the basis of our assumption. Okay, and those assumptions have been working right up till now. But in fact, guys, in reality, we don't know how many particular dimensions are. Okay, we are not very sure about that. That is why we keep on learning everything, so on and so on. Alright, guys, so hence, guys, these basically are known to be the 3-dimensional system, 3-dimensional object, or 3-way coordinate system. And it, guys, is also known to be a rectangular coordinate system. Why is that so? Let me just take out one example here. See, these are the two directions, right? Suppose if you take out any point here, why only points? Why not a car? Because in 2D, guys, you can only take out one point, right? You can take out a point only in 2D, correct? Of course, you can take out a square, you can take out a triangle, but basically you have to start out with the point. You have to know the ordinate of this point, and this point. Everything has to be worked out in form of a point in the system of Cartesian coordinates, 2D. Okay, so I'm going to take out a point here, this and this. Suppose I'll get something x1 and y1. Why x1 and y1, sir? Because we horizontally take this to be x and this to be x dash. Why, sir? Because it's a habit. We have kept on using it. You can take out anything that we want, but basically it is fixed now as a standard. So we are using it. And why x1 and y1 here? Because this is the first form. Okay, x, after this 1, and then if there is another point, it is 2, then 3, 4, 5, and so on, so on, so on. Of course, once again, you need to know the natural numbers. Okay, and now, guys, here, if you take out any measurement in 2D, in 2-dimensional or in 2 direction, it will always take out a shape of what is basically it will take a shape of what? Rectangle. Okay, what is a rectangle? Rectangle is nothing but a figure of 4 different sides, a quadrilateral of 4 different sides, okay, having 2 opposite sides equal. That is what a rectangle is. So basically you'll get a rectangle here. Either you take a point, you'll always get a rectangle. And square, of course, guys, it is a form of a rectangle. Okay, square is a form of rectangle. So this is a 2D, and always every point takes out a shape of a rectangle, hence it is also known to be rectangular coordinates. or like Rene Descartes said, rectangular, Cartesian, it is his name that is suggested, and coordinate. Why coordinate? Because there are two ordinates we are measuring. Okay, ordinate means measurement from origin. This is a fixed point here, right? Oh, measuring everything in one direction from origin, measuring everything in another direction from the origin. So this case basically is what you have in your PGCET syllabus, rectangular Cartesian coordinates. So coordinate geometry, it has many different variations, it has many different parts. You know guys, everything is not at all limited. Okay, in this particular syllabus format, what we are doing, we are trying to forgive me guys, we are trying to do what? We are trying to put out a limit on everything. We are trying to take out everything that we want. Okay, we can't keep on collecting everything. If you are going to earn money, we can't keep on just earning and earning and earning, because there is no limit to it. We can keep on earning and we can spend our entire time just earning it. So what we do, we try to put out a limit. Oh, I'll earn this much within this much time, and I'll try to spend it out on many different variations. So whatever we are doing here guys, we are doing on the basis of assumption. Okay, so basically that is it guys. So for your PGCET KE prescribed syllabus, coordinate geometry that you are going to be studying has been divided into two different parts guys. The first part that you have for your syllabus is the rectangular Cartesian coordinates. Okay, that is what I have explained and then basically you are going to study about the conic section, or conics you can say. Okay, these are the two different parts that you are going to be studying around. So I have just tried to explain you what rectangular Cartesian coordinates is. Whatever I have explained will never be asked in your examination or in any other examination, but this is highly important that you need to know what you are dealing with. And then in the second part about conics guys, I'll explain you that once we start on with the conics part after solving. And the questions here that you can expect in your PGCET examination are going to be very much easier. Directly everything has been given to you on the basis of formula. Okay, we know the formulas have already been given to us. All we need to do is apply guys. Okay, so that will be doing. But nonetheless guys, if you have any doubts, if you have any questions related to this one, please ask. Alright, please ask any questions. And yes, Mr. Piyush Chauhan, sir, आपको 20,000 की super chat करना चाहता हूँ. Yes, I know guys, because many among you might find it interesting, or many among you might always say, what you are doing sir, just tell us the formulas and everything. But basically guys, I also have gone through that pattern of experience. But there comes a point guys when knowledge counts in. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to do. I hope it is going to be helpful. If you have any doubts on this particular short basis guys, just ask. I hope those friends of mine who are watching me on our app too are able to understand. So Miss Neha and Mr. Pawan Kedanu, if you have doubts guys, you can ask. And yes guys, I'd please like to apologize for many of my friends. You have been trying to chat up with me on WhatsApp and everything, but technically there's been some kind of an incident with my cell phone. I was unable to reply to a number of students. Okay, do forgive for that misapprehended guys behavior of mine. And I hope that your doubts related to the passed out examination, the key PGCET results that have been declared, have been cleared by the academy. Okay, so if you haven't got any further doubts guys, especially on YouTube, okay, that will be it guys on YouTube, the classes. Furthermore, I'll just continue some more of the class on guys on our app. Okay, so those guys who will be watching me, who have been watching me, thanks guys. Thank you Santosh Kumar, thank you Piyush Chauhan, and I highly recommend guys just go through the class. And I hope actually it will be helpful to you in all throughout your life guys, not just for your PGCET. Of course, it is also important for PGCET, even though the questions will not be directly asked. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us live, and thank you to all my friends who will be watching me later. Be seeing you again guys in the next class. Until then, have a great time guys, and do join up guys at our WhatsApp group. Do join us at the Telegram channel. Be seeing you in the next session again. Until then, have a great time guys. Take care. Bye guys.